I really hope you will have a fantastic next moment here as the discussion panel is going to start about how to create a psytrance label with amazing, beautiful, transformative music and to make a change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, welcome, and let's talk about Psytrance, their experience, their knowledge, and let's learn a little bit with these amazing guys. Can you introduce yourself, Yasmin?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm a Psytrance and Chill Out label. We're based in Italy. It all started 7 years ago between my husband and me, Luca, and we're managing it together. We're the family, the base of the label.
Hi, my name is George, and along with James, my friend here, we started Flying Rhino Records in about 1994 with another friend, Dominic, and he isn't here. And we ran that label for about 10 years, I think, and then it took a little break, and I think recently James has brought it back to life in a digital format. So there's interesting shifts and changes in its process. Anyway.
Hi, I'm James. I have carried on the mantle of Flying Rhino. Started it with George and Dominic back in the day, 1994. We came, we went, we disappeared, and we're rising again. Coming with the new way that it's able to actually have a record label these days. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Fabien. Together with my friend and associate, we run Suntrip Records, both from Belgium and France. Thanks for inviting us.
Hi, I'm Matthias. I'm the owner and manager of IONO Music, and IONO is already 11 years old. We started in 2005 with 2 people, and after a while my partner disappeared, and now I continue since 5 years the label by myself. Yeah.
Let's start to discuss how about the record labels survive these days in our scene if the people don't have the habit to buy music, you know? What do you think of this?
Yeah. Of course, in general, it's very, very difficult. We are lucky enough that our project pays itself after some years. In the beginning, we put some money in, and fortunately, still people are buying music. I don't. There, of course, there's a lot of download, and of course, it happens to me as well that I get offered from fellow DJs. They want to share the music with me, but I personally prefer to buy music from artists, and so yeah, there's still people.
But do you guys have physical editions or just digital?
Yeah, also CDs. But we concentrate on having nice packages. I don't like jewel cases or something like the plastic stuff. I'm doing only digipacks, and I want to create packages that invite you to buy them and to come home like in the good old days, to open them, to look at it, to read, to experience something of the story behind it. Yeah, and this is why we still sell CDs. Of course, not many. We don't print so many CDs anymore, but like I think Flying Rhino was.
Yeah, it was.
You were printing very much.
Yeah, we printed loads.
Yeah. So now it's.
It was the only format. It was the only format.
Yeah.
Back in the day. There was no MP3. There was no download. It was
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
a physical.
The thing about the downloads is that it's so unpersonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got sent a beta copy of the first MP3 player because we were a record label. We got sent the first beta copy of an MP3 player. It must have been 1998, 1999, with Napster and the beginning of the download thing. And George, I said, "What's this funny little thing that just came in the post?" And we got this little box. And George looked at me and said, "That's the beginning of the end." And it was the beginning of the end. That was the hardware. Up to that point, if you wanted the music, you had to have the vinyl or you had to have the CD. It had to be in your hand. It was a friend, it was a thing, it was tangible. And then it went into the digital realm, and that's when we fell off the end of the earth, really. Yeah.
Fabien, what do you think about this?
Well, earlier we are at the dance temple, and we thought that maybe 3% of the people there on the dance floor were buying some music nowadays. Of course, we wish there were more, but we strive to create good releases thanks to the artists. We try to make a story behind it, just like Jasmine explained, and we do our best in this very difficult dying CD world and hardly emerging digital world. Can talk about
It's a good world. It's a good world.
It's a good world. We can reach more people like that. However, the new system isn't really cool in terms of revenue, which helps developing new things. Not only releases, also expanding. Sometimes you don't have enough resources to develop everything you're thinking about. So you concentrate on your core values. You release music, but you wish you had more to be able to do more. Thinking there's lots of things you can do in the psytrance world. Just look around you, and you have just an example.
I think every time also give his changes, his chances. For example, for James it was totally different. Then as I started, the market was already really down. Many labels disappeared already. So we did it because of passion and not because of earning something. It was not really in.
You guys started
2005. So and the point is, first of all, I think when you start a label, it always has something to do with passion or to release their own music because no one liked the music, or you be not how to call it. Yeah, you're not like a superstar when you start. So for the labels, it's like an invest, and sometimes the labels are pretty full. So like on IONO, there's a lot of music coming up all the time, and yeah, I have like 15, 20 artists, and it's simply not easy to release everything, and I also don't want to release everything, so you need to be focused, because we started with a very low revenue, and it's still a low revenue, but the point is we changed. In the past, we made more different styles and kind of styles because the CDs was also running better, the sales, and now it's more focused on our own artists. The most important is that the artists get the best promotion. It's not about the sales, for sure, it's good when something is coming in as well, but the most important is that the artist is in a good picture, on a good label, that people listen to the releases and in a super quality, and yeah, production-wise, everything. So yeah, I think that's the point for a label these days. It's not of making money with releasing stuff. It's like a family, you know. When you have a label, it's a second family. So you know everyone and his things, and so this is the way I think of Psytrance labels work.
I'm really glad to hear you say that. It's like a family, because that was very much how it was for us. And to this whole process, and a genuine feeling that the music that we as artists were writing and our friends were writing was tapping into something that was going to change the world and change. I mean, it sounds a bit grandiose to say that, but we really felt that. And it was a very spiritual movement. It really was, right from the start. It was a very uncommercial scene. There was no press, there was no TV, there was no publications that backed it, no nightclubs, there was no events.
There's no internet.
There was...
At the time, let me interrupt you. Do you guys think creating identity for the label, for example, Flying Rhino, you think about that and create kind of imaginary around the label, or some?
No, it did it itself. The music did it. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, actually, that there's a spiritual content to this whole movement, and it says how to create a psy-trance label, not a house label or any other kind of label. And I'm not in any way wanting to belittle any other labels, but there was a real
We weren't a psy-trance label, we were just a label. We were doing what we did that no one else was doing at the time, and nobody took us seriously. So we were like, okay, we can't give our music to anyone else. We did it ourselves, created our own platform.
I think that belief that you're doing something that is not separate from commercialism, but there is another reason for doing this. There's family, there's love, there's consciousness, and that's what this movement was always about. And it wasn't about record sales, it wasn't about gigs, it was about passion, as you're saying, and that really, every time that has been lost, and it has been lost, we lost it ourselves in our label. Then you have to refocus and look at the very reason that we're all here and not in a nightclub somewhere is because we believe in consciousness, we believe in love, we believe in the destiny of spirit and all of us coming together to create a better world. And I think that that's what psy-trance labels in their best can do. And each time we're taking away from that goal and becoming a commercial enterprise, then I think we've lost the balance, and we need to look at ourselves and go, how can we do this better? And I think that gets fed back to us by artists and the audience. And so, yeah.
The more I think about it, the more I think the key aspect of running a label is making people happy. You start from a vision and you end up making people happy. There's a whole process, like you explained, and when I see people dancing like I saw today, I think, okay, this goal is reached. Maybe we can do better. But at least I saw people smiling, raising their arms. This is already something we couldn't have imagined. It's wonderful. So I'm sure my my teammate here shares this view.
I think that the most beautiful in doing it is when you get the feedback from people and say, man, you make us so happy, and please never stop. This is the most beautiful. Or like I was in Mexico and Mexicans came to me and told me, Matthias, why the Mexicans love you so much? I said, no, why should you know that? You give us hope. It was really, wow, it was like an impact for me. It was like, what the fuck, it's crazy. Really nice. Yeah, for this we're doing this. And we never get the point when you do it, when you have it, work on a release in the office, and what actually it really makes outside to the people, you hear it in sets and on festivals, but the true fans, they're following you. It's really, really nice, really nice. Yeah.
And they buy the music.
Well, look, we're still here. The Boom Festival started when?
97, 95.
And we're still here.
Yeah.
People love it. It's bottom line. Can't really say much more than that. And now, actually, it's easier to release music than it's ever been. You can write music easily. In the back in the day, you had to commit in a way that you don't have to commit anymore. You could buy a laptop, and it's brilliant because back in the day there was a lot of talent that couldn't breathe because they couldn't afford to buy the equipment necessary. Now there's so much potential. You don't have to have overheads. You don't have to manufacturers, you don't have to make CDs, you don't have to make records, you don't have to spend money doing the whole thing, and you can get music out there, you can put the energy there and do what we're doing now. That's why we're here, that's what's going on.
I remember that time that you were talking about when I said it was the beginning of the end. The weird thing about that was that I was actually really happy about it.
Yeah.
Because as an artist, we were artists that were writing music, and we were signed to a label called Dragonfly originally, and they couldn't put out enough music. We were writing too much, so we were like, okay, well, we better start our own label, and that's what we did, and we became a record label rather than a bunch of artists just releasing our music. We became a record label, and we think we had, like at one time, like 100 artists or something on our books, and so there was that moment of return when this digital innovation came about, and it was suddenly like, okay, this is going to maybe be the end of our record label, but actually it's the beginning of a wonderful future for artists to take responsibility for their work and
the
actually
old paradigm is broken and it's time for the new.
Do you think we need to have some knowledge or some degree in management to run a label properly?
In a way, every artist is a label. Back in the day, an artist was an artist. He wrote music and he gave it to the label, and the label did whatever it needed to do. Now every person who writes music needs to be a whiz kid on Facebook, a whiz kid on PR, a whiz kid on all of it. Photoshop, everything. If you want to get somewhere, you've got to be able to do all of it. So it's a multitask. Back in the day, it was quite simple. You wrote the music and somebody else did all the bits for you. The record label did all the bits for you. It's changed now, and it's an equal playing field. Anyone can do it. We can all the equipment's there to do it. It's just if people feel it, and that's where it's real now. If the dance floor responds, that's the bottom line. If you play your music to people and people respond, you'll be asked to come and do what you do.
Back in the days, how many people work at the record label, at your record label? Do you remember that?
We never had more than 2 other people outside of us Muppets working there. We never had more than 2 other people working there.
I imagine your you know.
Yeah, no. They all thought we were driving.
50,
They all thought we were
20
driving Porsches, and
No, they
they were. They did.
But really
they did
busy.
think that. Like, I was riding a bicycle. George was riding a bicycle. They're like, where's the Porsche?
We had
we made no money at all.
we actually didn't have a sound system to listen to people's music on. We didn't have a good enough sound system, so we'd take them down and listen to it in the car, which surprised quite a lot of artists. We thought you were this really big label.
Yeah, it doesn't much change to the now. We don't make money either.
The car stereo test.
I have a real job too. We don't make money. It's just for passion. But I think you were wondering about. Can you repeat the question originally, please?
Because in the 90s it was that before the MP3 goes on pop. Some labels, and the internet, saying some record labels can survive with a small team and small offices and spread to some record shops and selling online.
Yeah, definitely. You need to be organized, really well organized. A pride, have a good team of people surrounding you, because okay, you're 2 people, but you need someone to master your stuff. Maybe back in the days you needed a good factory to do things on time, and nowadays there is a shift, because you need to have that's our challenge now. In Suntrip we need to have a dedicated set of people to manage our internet presence, Facebook, Instagram, etc.
We're dinosaurs. We're dinosaurs.
Not really.
Well, I am. Yeah.
But that's the big challenge now. You have to find a balance between what you promote and what you achieve, because internet presence takes a lot of time.
It's constant. You have to be constantly present. Yeah.
Matthias.
Yeah. Actually, I have some helpers, but most of the things I do, and I have systems, they help me with the jobs like YouTube uploads, SoundCloud uploads, promotion emails, so everything goes from systems. So you know, I'm a typical German, so when I do things the third time, then I'm thinking already about to make an automatization, you know, like in contracting or this. Yeah, because you get bored when you always copy paste and this, so you don't have time for that actually. So, and yeah, so in the end you need people you'll be able to believe. You know, they also be able to handle to work for a big label. You know, sometimes, and yeah, and you not really can pay them because there's not really that much money inside. So it's mostly label DJs they help. And yeah, but in the end, what in the past 50 people did is now technology doing, and yeah, you just need to find the right balance in promoting and yeah, posting on Facebook. It cannot be too much. You just have to put quality stuff on, and yeah, not just another release. It doesn't make sense because people are not stupid. So they when you feel at home, it doesn't catch you. It doesn't catch no one really, except maybe the artist, you know, who was doing the release. So you need to believe in what you do, and yeah, and just keep it going. So this is the most important.
I just follow that because I think that's it. Just keep it going. I remember I was just talking to Thomas from Atmos before. And Atmos was one of our artists on our label, and you know, in a traditional label-artist relationship, he would have been paid a lot more and a lot sooner than we ever managed to pay him, and we laugh about it, but actually, James is saying we only had 2 people working for us that were paid, but we had a whole lot of people that were giving their time for nothing. And we had artists who were not getting paid, and they were happy to not get paid for a long time because they 100% believed in what they were doing. You know, and I think that's so important. You know, it's this psytrance thing. You know, it's not. There's something more to psytrance, I think, than a lot of other things. There is a genuine spirit to it, and that really brings people in and brings support. You know how Boom has grown. The more consciousness is here at Boom, the more people give of their time, they give of their energy, and I think that goes the same with the record label thing. It's not a record label; it's a family. It's a coming together of everyone who just wants to make this happen.
Yeah, it's really like, because of the question how to create a Psytrance label, it's to create a Psytrance label is pretty easy, but to be a Psytrance label is something really, really different because it's to support the artist. And
let's talk about that struggle this day to day. Nowadays, some record labels are DJ agencies, you know, they represent some artists. That's okay. That's melting of 2 areas: the management, artists, and the record label, creativity, art, music. Is get well together. It's good or not? It's or not good.
I think I just can say how it is on IONO, and I know on other labels it's exactly the same. Because of the low revenues, the labels get most of the labels get like amount of the gigs from the artist, percentage-wise, because otherwise the label couldn't survive. It would not make sense, you know. It would not be able to pay the rent or whatever in Germany, you know. So you need that to invest as well into the artist. So in the end, to have more power as the global thing.
Yasmin, tell us your experience.
No, for us it's different. Our artists have no contract, nothing. It's just a thing of the heart. We're friends, and yeah, like I said before, we're really lucky that the label pays itself. Everything that is coming in is going out on the label. The artists, unfortunately, don't get much of it.
Presence.
But yeah. It creates presence. We're a family. We show it. It's the collective. We're all together, and maybe someday we play it. Boom, you know. You never know, and maybe someday we're all here together, and yeah. So the artist is completely free for us.
Basically, labels become a platform
Yeah,
for
yeah,
artists
yeah.
to play on the global stage.
Although there is a sort of professionalization of labels, because, for example, if you get the label's music uploaded on YouTube, there's a whole bunch of things happening regarding rights, and not having contracts might pose a problem in the future. If you're a family, all right, but sometimes things don't go so well. Most of the time they do. But there is a trend to professionalize, and also there's also more and more booking agencies. It's the same trend, in my opinion. We're sliding into another discussion, but that's the same trend.
Yeah, it's good. It's signing.
Is that a good
signing-
thing?
It's kind of giving your life, your ability, what you have, other people to manage. If you need your PR and your Facebook or your online presence, you can pay someone to do that for you, allowing you as the artist to do what you do best, which is probably write music. I know personally, I'm absolutely rubbish at doing the online presence thing, so reluctantly I'll pay someone else to do it for me. Because I'm old school. New school people, it's second nature. They're like that all day long. I hate that. If I'm on the computer, I want to be writing music, nothing else.
And you guys are ready for the streaming revenue, the new thing now, the present streaming, YouTube.
Yeah, what to do? I mean, things change, and you can fight the future. That's right. So in the end, you need to create as much playlist you can. You need to embed it in as much websites you can do.
Create your presence.
Yeah. So you have to spread it all over, and as more people hear it, as more revenue is coming. So in the end, yeah.
As long as there's given credit, no? I mean, you find your artist's track on YouTube, or you just released a new VA and you find it the next day on YouTube, and there's no
5 minutes later,
no credits,
after release, let's say like that.
You know?
The nice thing about that is somebody's taken the time to take your track and put it on YouTube for you and make it available to everyone else. It's like, wow, people are really keen.
Yeah,
Wicked.
Yeah.
All
Sure,
over that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if you find it really good, I mean, at least give some credits, you know? You
Yeah,
like,
of course, of course.
just write it under it and it's done, you know? Yeah.
I'm slightly laughing because you run a record label, but you sound like an artist, and that was always our problem. We're a bunch of artists running a record label, so I think there's definite.
We were so delighted that people.
But I think also as more people upload something, it's not that I really like that, but as more people upload something on YouTube, for example, I think even the reputation of the artist is going up because he's more visible, and even because many people don't know about when somebody else is uploading on YouTube, then even the label gets, because they have like a WAV file mirroring, and they see, aha, it's owned by this label, so even when it's not even pennies, it's 4 dots after the comma, so what you get. So you might have like 10,000 streamings for 1 cent. But in the end, as much, as more something is uploaded or spreaded, as better it is. And in the end, the most important is not, for me, it's not that people buy the music. The most important is that people listen to music.
And play the
music.
This is where
and this is the point.
This is where it happens.
Yes, this is the point.
These platforms, that's what it's all
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
That's right. The pitch of this talk started with sentences about piracy, and that's where it becomes interesting. We're crossing the Rubicon where piracy sometimes helps for exposure. That's what you just said. and so there's a thin line here.
But I think these days it's all about exposure. So I think these
Yeah,
days it is
definitely.
like this. So
If you get the credit, I think if the credit is
And
Respect.
platforms like YouTube may help you with that, definitely.
Totally. Reluctant, but totally.
More tips if any one of those want to create a label after boom back in cities.
I'd give a first tip: be patient. Okay, you have patience, you have a vision, but be patient. With the reward will come. Maybe you have to keep on going. Maybe the feedback will not come straight away. You will have to struggle sometimes to find your public, to find the right artists. You will have to adjust. Okay, we're on the workplace. We work constantly about agile practices. Why not? Do it, and then adjust, and the reward will come. You will see people happy because you kept on going. You were patient, and the reward came.
As long as it's good.
As long as it's good.
Yasmin.
As long as it's good, it's also a matter of taste, no?
Of course, it's exactly.
So maybe there will always be 1,000 people in the world that like it, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
Do
So
it.
yeah,
If you want it,
I
if
agree.
you love it, do it.
Yeah, I agree with Fabien. It's really like you just when you have the vision, you have the artists already, maybe, and you just do it and you go for it, you know. And then, of course, you put some money in it in the beginning, but if you're lucky, people like it, and it's going by itself at one point. Yeah.
But one good question: did you guys invest any money? I don't want to know numbers, but let's talk about money. Okay. Did you guys invest a lot of money in record labels?
Sure.
And what do you receive after that?
Lost a lot.
Yeah, we invested a few thousand euros, and we're not expecting to see it back. But that's not the point. It doesn't matter. Just like you explained in the beginning.
I think that's a great thing now is that
Yeah, now you can do it. You can do
you're
it
going
without
to
actually
be
investing.
spending a lot
Yeah.
less now. You need to invest.
Yeah.
We did need to invest money, but we didn't do it all in one go. We had royalties that we'd then invest, and just we never took the money out. So
Kept
we just
feeding itself.
kept it going in. But I think now there's way less money needed.
As overheads are down.
But,
You can run.
and just going back to what you're saying though, that anybody who is thinking of starting a label, I just think, why? I'm not being
If
flippant.
you're a creative,
What I mean is to really connect with why you're doing it, because I think at its best it's an act of love for yourself, for spirit, for your music, for the music of others and for the audience. And at its worst it's a kind of idea of, I don't know, the sort of mental thought of it being a good idea, and it would be very hard for that to be successful. And the more attuned you are to a really valid, soulful experience of love, I think that's what is behind all great psytrance labels and psytrance music, is love and passion.
It's a labor of love.
It's a label of love. Yeah.
A label of love, exactly. Let's start with some questions. Okay, over there. Hello.
My main question is with regard to exposure. So, like you guys were saying, nowadays obviously the internet is an infinite connection globally, worldwide, to get the exposure out there in clever and creative ways if you so wish. But what are the challenges with regard to keeping psytrance as special and as niche as it is? Just for example, with regards to like dubstep, it's another underground electronic music genre. which then Britney Spears got hold of, and then it sold out and became commercial, and now it's rubbish. Obviously, I know Psytrance is very long running, and this hasn't happened yet, but now with all this influx of the internet, the growing popularity, the growing trends, the growing consciousness awakening and naturally progressing to this sort of thing, is that a worry, and how would you go about these challenges?
Definitely not a worry. The more people who hear it, the better, no?
Yeah, completely agree.
As long as the music stays pure, then bring it on. The more people, the better.
I think the most important is that you find your own style and just keep it going, and not going like a wave. Today like this, tomorrow like this, then people don't see your real face. Even when you are out of the trend, just keep it going, because people will like it and will support you and what you're doing.
Create your own followers.
Microcosmos.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I respond, George?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think every time we lost our thread, you can feel it. You feel when you're not doing something that's true to why you're doing this in the first place, and you very quickly realise, if you come to events like this, you probably take psychedelics, and you're very quickly going to know what's right and what's wrong, you know, what feels good and what doesn't feel good. That's the great thing about this scene, is we have a point of reference that brings us back to truth, and I think it doesn't matter, you know. Well, from my experience, it wasn't about whether if we followed the record sales. It actually just became what do we really need to be doing now, musically and creatively, and sometimes that didn't sell very well, and it wasn't that popular.
That's where we stopped.
We stuck to our guns, and we always kept it real. And actually, in hindsight, a lot of people seem to be very happy about that, and give us a lot of love and a lot of positive feedback for that there was an authenticity to it.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a very successful move, but it feels good in my heart, and I think probably James as well. We still laugh and love it. Yeah.
Another question? Maybe.
Hi, just wondering, in this digital age where it's so possible and so easy for artists to manage themselves and release their own music online through things like Bandcamp and that kind of thing, what kind of role do you see labels having as we move forward through this age, and what could I offer if I were to start a label? What can I offer to artists that they can't manage themselves, or find someone to outsource the little things like you were talking about before themselves?
Basically, there's always the token of quality. Is that the right word in English?
Can I answer to this question? I think honestly, for sure, an artist sometimes think, man, it's better I make our own label, I get all the money, I don't need to share with no one. But the point is, when you, for example, join to a good label, then your reputation changed from one day to the other like 500%. So that means even when you had an empty calendar and nothing, people start getting interested in you, and even more than when you do it by yourself. Because if you do it by yourself, you'll be like a bedroom label and nothing really happens. And this is the difference these days. So artists use the power of the label, and this is the thing. But yeah,
It's like the brand behind it, no?
yeah, it's true, for sure.
Why do you want to be a label?
What you could offer I'll make a suggestion, is the same qualities that you'd offer in any walk of life: truth, honesty, integrity, a lot of love, and offer your artists a lot of care. You know, a lot of our work with the label was
Well, we were artists.
we're just looking.
Nobody would have our music, so we put it out ourselves. It was quite straightforward.
Parenting artists. The artist's life can be quite dysfunctional in society and quite unmanageable. And as a label, if you're on top of things and you're on top of personal stuff, for them, then you really
Bank manager.
yes, psychologist, bank manager,
That's right.
nanny, chauffeur.
Altogether.
Altogether.
In the moment here, what's your experience, Jam, in this kind of men's world? Record label is the same, many men's. Few
Yeah,
women.
Our label was run by two women, by the way. Yeah. Our label was run by two girls.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see? It's
Annie
it's just that the men are mostly in the front. Yeah, they
Well,
were
no,
in
she
the
stood on the
glitter
box
and
and
they're like on stage. But I know a lot of artists that actually are managed by their wives because they're like a wall before them, you know. And I think my experience is good. I never had issues with sexism or anything. I think also the psytrance is very, very respectful. Yeah. Yeah, I think actually people like it, you know, to talk to a woman instead of the usual bro, you know. Like, yeah.
More questions? Nobody? Okay.
Hi there. I was just wondering how much, like the top acts, like Ace Ventura, for example, how much are they, how high is the salary they get for a gig? And are
Ask him yourself, mate. Ask him yourself next time you see him.
Okay, I will, but I'm sure he won't tell me. But well, how high is the percentage of artists who do it as a full-time job? Because I mean, you to get to that stage, you invest that much. I'm seeing it myself because I try to do something with the computer, and it's such a huge investment of time and devotion and money also. And I guess one day, if you are really good and become more and more famous, you want to do it as a full-time job. And I guess there must be some percentage of artists who do this on full-time level. Yeah?
They do very nicely, thank you, some of them.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes they start when they're still students, they have a lot of time, and after a while they start working, and if they're successful, I have examples in mind, like Logic Bomb, for example. It was in the past. They have to quit their jobs because it's a full-time job. They are traveling all the time, and they can't do it anymore. They can't be at their desk on a Monday and have a clear head. It's impossible. So sometimes that's why some artists disappear, or that's why they quit that job to do it full-time. And sometimes disappear for a while, and when things have settled, they come back. It happens.
Matthias.
I think it's the same for labels and for artists. Everyone needs to decide when is the point to do this on a freelance base. For sure, if there's no booking, it doesn't make sense to say I'm not a freelancer. But I can just say how it was for me. I run IONO 7 years next to my normal freelance job. Okay, it was also freelancing job, but totally different kind of work. And then I decided, before I waste both things, I decided for one, and I went with the hippie one. Yes, so with that one for the heart. So I decided. So I let the other one go. Yeah.
My feeling is you're asking the wrong question, because if you're in some respects, if you're asking that question, you're not committing, you know.
Yeah.
And that the part, you know, the act of being an artist is to go, you know what, I can't do anything else. That's me. That's what I'm going to be.
Feeling.
It's just got to come out, and everything else, whether you live on someone's floor or whether you drive a Porsche, is totally irrelevant. You're going to do the same thing anyway. Anyway, that's.
Yes. There is dedication,
it's
work.
you don't think about it, you just do it. It's a feeling, and you just do it. It's instinctive. It's bass. It goes right the way back to why we're here.
Label of love.
It's a label of
Yeah,
love.
and some of the artists will get really well paid, and they'll be living a life of amazing travel and gig after gig after gig, and really having a great life. And there'll be others that are having a really not so financially great life, but they are really committed and putting out great music and changing people's hearts in their own way. And
I know artists who take holidays to make music. So that's called dedication.
That's important too. We have a break for ourselves too.
Yeah.
That's good.
But you cannot command inspiration, so sometimes it's tricky, I've heard.
Another question about these record labels, artist management, artist life. Anyone?
It's still me. I just wanted to add something to what the lady mentioned before, but she left already, unfortunately. I just wanted to, my thought is that some stuff coming out of the underground is also exploding into mainstream, like Neelix is a major act, very famous act from Germany, and I think it's started in the underground for a long time, and then somehow, I don't know by which means, he changed his productions and became like extremely famous, and has 1 million followers on Facebook already, or close to. I just wanted to add that lots of stuff coming out of the underground.
He's married to his computer.
Exploding into explode into mainstream culture also.
Anyone can?
Yes, sure.
Hello?
It happens, but I think it's the decision of the artists. There are a lot of artists that change their style to earn actually more money, and it's. I understand that, because if you want to do it for life, you have to do it because you can stay in the underground, and it's nothing. There's nothing bad about it. I mean, it's his own decision. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another tip. We were mentioning tips earlier. Don't censor your artist. Just no censorship on your artist. Let them do. In the end, everything will fall in place.
That's a good tip.
I think that goes along for your own censorship of yourself too. Yeah. Don't censor that either.
Another question? Anyone?
I have another question here, right in front of you. General concept, and bring variety, and maybe those collaborations could turn into something very interesting. But because of these rules, they don't happen. Now, can I do a second question or just one?
No, just one.
Okay, no problem.
No, it's really good question. Creativity, and then sharing. Collaboration, yes.
Collaboration is a very personal thing.
Very much, yeah.
It's a very personal thing. Collaboration only happens when two very like minds meet together and go, wow, we've got something, let's do something. I bring that to the table, you bring that to the table. It's a very personal thing. You can't put strangers in the same room and expect them to make music together and something magic to happen. It might, chances are it won't. They'll walk away hating each other. Collaboration is about like-minded people meeting naturally, and then it'll happen.
In my experience, that never happened. I've never experienced labels
putting people
blocking
together.
Collaborations because of financial reasons, or not in this scene anyway. I mean, maybe it happens. It never happened to me. We never did that. It sounds like a really appalling choice because letting energy flow together in the way that it wants to is the life and soul of music, record labels, dance floors, anything. So it sounds like a really bad idea, that. And I don't think anybody up here has been doing that.
I think your question was because with collaborations and why artists with higher levels don't make collaborations with lower levels. I cannot say that. And sometimes it's also a point that bigger artists give smaller artists the opportunity. For example, my label Algorithmia is doing it a lot for smaller guys and to help them. But you also need to understand, for a high reputed artist, if he's doing a collaboration and the track actually is really bad, the good artist fall down from the level of the reputation a bit. You know, if you have a few tracks like this in a row, then it's already not so good. So for the young guy, for example, is it good? Because he get like a reputation from a good artist, and they learn, they can see the project, you know, the files, and yeah. But it's always a balance, you know. The guys need to find. For me, for IONO, 20 people can do a collaboration. I really don't care, you know, as long as it's good music, you know. So, but this is, you need to understand, because the artist with the high reputation work also a lot, and he had to fight for everything to get a reputation from the other artists as well. And you have, first of all, make good tracks, and then you get it.
I agree that it's completely free for the artists to collaborate, and I think that very often a new, fresh producer that maybe just started, doesn't know so much, but has something going on in him, and yeah, they will connect, and maybe even the higher level producer can have some input from him, because it's coming from the heart, you know, because at one point maybe you're just like
that's the key word,
a machine, you know, like we saw also before. Yeah, you just put the brake here and then go on. Maybe a newer producer, fresher producer brings some music actually into the production, you know, into
fresh idea,
the machine. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say something on that, because my sort of career in music came about through a really well-known producer in England called Youth, and he was producer of the year on many commercial records. He's produced Paul McCartney, Verve,
U2,
and U2, and Pink Floyd now as well. So this is a seriously big producer, and if he'd have done what you were suggesting, he would have ignored us. But he, you know, we were 19-year-old kids with an attitude and a feeling of love for this music, and he was just like, "Great, get in here, let's do it." He gave us a platform. He gave me a room upstairs in the studio and just said, "You guys need to live here," you know. And he had a vegetarian chef and lots of great drugs, and we were like, "Yes, this is it." And
with a shit-hot studio,
with an amazing studio with crystals and pretty girls, and it was heaven at 20 years old. I mean, come on. But he had a good time out of it too, and
he still does.
And it brought a lot of energy to his label, and there was a collaboration there. So this is an older guy who kind of mentored us, and his reputation was enormous. He had everything to lose, but he gave us complete run of the studio, invested a lot of time in us, a lot of love, and it was wonderful. That, you know, Dragonfly and Youth's Butterfly Records was probably one of the main heartbeats of the psychedelic scene at the very creation of it. And that was a guy taking a massive risk with his reputation, you know.
He didn't take a risk, he did what he loved.
Yeah, he did what he loved, and it was fantastic.
Postwood came from it.
Simon Postwood, Nick Doof, Roger Ram,
all came from it.
Flying Rhino, Slinky Wizard, all of us came out of that studio, and that guy taking a chance and not giving a shit about reputations or whatever.
Of the reputation, yeah.
Nowadays,
big love to Youth.
Yeah, big love to Youth.
Nowadays, you have sometimes you have an artist playing in another country, and another artist tells him, "Oh, why not stay at my place?" There's no hidden agenda into that. But in the morning, they start tweaking, And this, show me your gear. Oh, you're using that. Okay, let's. The guy starts tweaking, and it syncs. Whether it syncs or not, nobody knows. If it syncs, maybe they will say, okay, let's sit. Like I said earlier, you cannot force it. Inspiration or collaboration, you cannot force it.
No.
Yeah.
Another question over there.
Hey guys, Craig from Australia. What are your thoughts on the increased bureaucratic, sorry, I'm a bit fucked, pressure put towards music festivals? Because I know in Australia, it's either you're so big that you have to have paid money out the arse to make it happen, or so small you fly under the radar and don't cause a ripple.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? And Timmy Trumpet? Any thoughts?
Trumpet.
Trumpet?
Sigh or Die.
So that.
It's a horrible song.
Actually, I'm interested. What do you guys have to say about this?
We're still here, but
Yeah, but
thank God for people who take the risk. Basically, people invest serious money, serious time into making this happen, and they without them doing that, we can't do this. So we're the wrong people to ask. We're just the creatives, the people who put this sort of thing on. I have no idea what they put into it, but I have a rough idea what they put into it. It's mind, body and soul and everything else. And they use law, they use everything to make this happen. It's a whole nother ball game outside of what we do. We're just a soundtrack. We're the wrong people on the panel to ask questions about putting these sort of things on. It's a huge thing. It's a huge team. Yeah.
I would just say actually that all the original Psytrance, Goa Trance and music labels, everything, it all emerged out of this, out of taking a ceremonial party with an acid punch, and everything came from that. So it's probably still the case, even though we dressed it up differently, is that the scene would die without this.
There's tribal intention, very tribal intention.
So keep putting on events.
Another question? Anyone? No questions?
Not even a heckler.
Over there, okay.
What do you think about legal free downloading websites like ectoplasm.com?
Ectoplasm.
Never heard of it.
They're
Yeah,
Canadian. Toronto.
You're too old.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest online free online websites where you can download, where artists promote themselves and upload music with a basic subscription and donation.
Like music for merit, I'm all over it.
It's
It's
a great
also-
thing.
It's a great thing.
Really, I take music from them to play
Bandcamp
sometimes.
started something where music is bought and sold on merit, and that's where that's the bottom line. If people like the music, they should be able to buy it, and the artist should get their fair due. Actually, the record label in the middle, in this day and age, not that necessary. So what you artists
We end with this.
What do you think, Yasmin? You disagree?
Personally, I listen a lot to what's released on Ectoplasm and Bandcamp and even SoundCloud. I try to find new guys. Sometimes there's an obscure release on Ectoplasm and there's a great track and I think, oh, maybe we should contact this guy. It's you have to focus on every channel you can to find new guys who have great ideas and who may be part of the family.
A lot of the times, because I'm taking the music for DJing, you know, so I noticed that of course there's a quality difference in it, because an artist that is putting music on ectoplasm, or I don't know how they work with the mastering and stuff, but the quality is a bit different, you know, but yeah, it's still a great platform to discover new artists, for sure. I discovered a lot of music also just to listen at home. I think they did a really, really great job. Yes, very, very good.
Actually, I might ask you a lot of questions. Did you start a label wanting to be a label, or did you start a label as artists?
I'm not an artist.
Okay, so you started.
I'm just a poor DJ girl.
You started a label. No, I'm
Yeah.
just curious, because there's definitely two. We started as artists with nowhere to put our music, so we set up our own label.
And Luca and I, we
there
started.
Are people out there who want to do what we couldn't, what we ended up doing for ourselves, but they want to do for others, and that's a very different channel.
For us, it was mostly about, hey, there are all these artists.
Yeah, they
don't have
they
any.
need a home.
Yeah.
Really,
we were friends. We became friends, and so we had another experience managing a release, and so we said, okay, we do it. We're family, you know, and we're sharing everything, and even the music taste. And
it is a family.
Yeah.
Same for us. We had with this. We realized that back in 2002, that Goa Trance hasn't said its last word, and we thought there's something to do here. Just like you said, Jasmine, there's opportunities, there's music, and let's do it. Even though we're not artists, my partner here is a DJ, which helps, of course. But we didn't start like you as artists producing your own music.
I just wanted to say as well, we're making it all sound a bit not much fun. But let me tell you,
it was a lot of fun.
A hell of a lot of fun. So if anybody is thinking of starting a label and working really hard and doing it as an act of love, you are going to have the ride of your life.
Yeah.
It's so personal, so fundamental.
The relationships you make, the friendships, the music you create, the opportunities you give to each other, and the times that you share like this. I mean, it's
priceless.
Incredible. So don't be put off. Get out there.
Sorry, I never said the wrong thing.
It's work and it's fun.
It is, yeah.
Matthias, you agree? And if I send you my track to you guys and you refuse because the track is awful and it's nothing
Probably
to do.
won't say anything. Just ignore it.
You responding by email or not?
I was pretty rubbish at that. I was just kind of in charge of A&R. So many lovely people got ignored. A lot of people didn't get ignored. In the old days, you've got, I don't know, 100 demos a day. It's very difficult to keep abreast of that. In this day and age, I've no idea. Yeah.
And now the
10 times that probably.
Yeah.
And sometimes even because you find something in the download folder and don't know from who's the track, what the fuck, you know? And you don't, yeah, because people send you on Skype and 3 days after. Yeah, it's complicated.
As Flying Rhino is now back up and running in a mild manner, all the music that I'm finding that I want to put out is all done when I hear it loud. If I hear something that makes me go, oh, what the fuck's that? Then I'll go and find out what it is. But until that time, I'm afraid demos don't really, they're not really, I don't know.
Yeah, it happens rarely to receive something through the internet, like on the website. Of course, we have the contact form, and we receive a lot of messages as well. We try to listen to everything. We try to reply to everybody with constructive. We try, yeah. Of course, I mean, there is also sometimes I'm really asking myself why somebody is sending me something that hasn't anything to do with what we do, just randomly.
You feel like you're judging them, and it's terrible. It's horrible.
Yes,
It makes
yes,
you feel bad about
yes.
yourself.
No, this is why I'm feeling bad right now saying it. Yes, yes. But I think it's just people like really wanting a label, and they write to everybody, and it's just some random things. It's not about.
Thomas did that as Atmos.
Yeah.
And we did. We picked
randomly.
him up. Yeah. Everyone else turned him down. Well, no, they didn't bother answering. We were the first to answer.
There were like 2 labels, 3 labels.
No, Spirit Suntrip, Matsuri.
We took a long time
Loads
to
of
get
them.
back to
It
it.
took a long time to get back. It actually took me
And
being
that's-
spannered one day in the car on the way back
Going
from a
back
party,
from a
with,
party.
with a cassette, and it was like, what the fuck's it? Atmos, there's the contact number.
Yeah.
Simple as that. In the moment, hearing it as it was, high as a kite.
We also had it with one artist that became one of our most well-known, and he wrote us through the internet. We immediately answered him, and it was it. But it's not happening so often.
It's a rare thing.
It's a very rare thing, yeah.
The other side of it is the one that you turn down, and then they're really, really good.
Robert Miles' Children.
Yeah, we were sent a demo for Robert Miles' Children.
Well, it's far too commercial.
Thought it was rubbish.
Platypus is still
Kind of
tuning up.
annoying. We would have been driving Porsches probably.
Yeah, for sure.
But also Minilog, they sent a beautiful ambient or
You turned
chill
it
out.
down.
I turned that
I
down.
kept badgering you.
Always regretted that.
I kept badgering you.
Gutted. So I think there's ones you miss and there's ones you have to get quite tough, don't you?
It's hard to keep the pace with the internet things. We receive so many promos. It's hard to keep the pace. We're trying as hard as we can, but it's really hard sometimes. It's really heartbreaking not to be able to answer someone within 2 months. I would try to listen to everything, but it's hard, and sometimes we miss good opportunities, unfortunately.
Yeah, same on IONO. I also try to listen to most of the stuff, but it's not easy to handle because I get like 100 tracks a day in, so 20 Facebook messages, 30 emails only with it. It's too much. So I try to listen in something, but mostly is for me when somebody suggests me somebody, then I listen more to this guy and check the SoundCloud, and then I search more on.
Bottom line is it's horrible being rude. Isn't it? When you have to reject them. It's much easier not to say
mad, and when people get mad when you not answer after 5 minutes, and why you don't like, and
just not receiving demos right now.
Good, yeah.
This is what I want to say. Just if you think that it can fit, if you're a producer or whatever, it can fit. You're like into the style of the label. You think like it's fitting. You should write them. It's not that I think we all tried, but first of all think about it. Like if it would fit, if it would be. If you want to send us some music and you think. I want to be part of it because I love that style, because I think I'm doing the same style. It's perfect.
Just say something. A lot of the questions, or some of the questions have been about what you can offer as a label, and I think that is a really important thing. Is that if as a label you are keeping your integrity, and you really know why you're doing it, and what kind of artistry and music you really love and believe in, then you'll attract artists to you that suit your label. It's like labels are little tribes, they're little families, and there's a label out there that is right for you. Every label has its strengths. Like I think our strength. Well, whatever. I mean, a bunch of idiots having a good time. Now there are certain artists that bought into that, and we're still good friends, just about. But I think a key role of the label is being able to have a relationship with that artist where you can really give your honest opinion, and it means something to them because they respect you. They value the integrity that you've shown over your time as a label, day in, day out, the choices you make. What you were saying, that being part of a label immediately raises your profile if it's a good label, because that label individuals with those labels have put so much time and effort into holding a certain course musically and creatively, and so find a label that, or as a label, be a label that shows that integrity and direction. And when you give feedback to artists, they'll believe in you, and they'll believe you, and they'll adapt and change in a really cool way. And that's a really important relationship, the artist-label kind of creative dynamic that happens. You know, you really
Definitely.
Guys, really thank you for this conversation, for this talk. Let's a round of applause of these amazing artists, managers, and thank you guys for this. Okay.
I'd like to say thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you to Boom.
Without you lot, it's pointless.
Enjoy Boom.
Enjoy. Big love.